Hello guys, this is Sharyu Patil. Here I am going to address you few things which you should be doing if you are giving entrance examination. Let's start with trigonometric functions and identities. How to prepare trigonometry. The first step is to clear all basics from previous classes. Second, in NCERT, all the formulas and identities are well derived. So first observe those and try to derive it on your own. And you will learn many more new things. Domain and range is the important part of trigonometry. To remember it, plot this graph on your own. If equation is asked, then substitute the values from option in the equation. Use trial and error method. Inverse trigonometry may be tough for you if you study first time. But more and more times you study, you keep on learning the basics and finally it becomes easy for you. NCERT should be your first priority. Learn this chapter from NCERT. You can solve any other textbook later on. Tips that will help you in preparing trigonometry in the best possible way are: first, always try to solve questions using a different approach. That is, if in question it is given tan theta, go for sin theta upon cos theta or 1 upon cot theta. Trigonometry starts with a triangle. So keep in your mind, behind every question there is a triangle. If you are going for an objective approach, then you can put theta is equal to 0, 30, 45, 60 or 90, or you can verify your answer by this. But always keep in your mind that it is not hard and fast rule. For general solution, bring the equation in one of the standard forms. This can be done by using factorization formula. That is, convert from addition to multiplication. So from my experience, I would like to suggest you few things. First, distract your distraction. Avoid using TV and mobile, etc. Plan your time. When you are supercharged or super powerful, it's the best time to study. Study from the good reference or right book at the right amount of time. Be wise to revise. As you know, mock test is a very important part of this examination. So try to give many more mock tests. And 1 month before examination, don't go for any new topics. As it is said, practice makes man perfect. Motivate yourself. Try to medicate every day. If you feel bored, listen music or go for a walk. So good luck for your examinations. Give your best shot on it.
Hi guys, this is Yogesh. We'll discuss some formula related to trigonometric function, which are very important for MST-CET. So let's begin. As you can see on screen, I will tell you some tricks to remember this formula. So, sin of A plus B. Use some logic to expand this formula. There is sine angle on left hand side, then remember that on right hand side, each term will contain sine angle and cos angle. And between these two terms, same sign will come with respect to A plus B. That is, plus sign will come. We will use same trick for sin of A minus B. Replace the signs, you will get your formula. In case of cos A plus B, if there is cos angle on left hand side, then remember that on right hand side, each term will contain either cos angle or sin angle. And between these two terms, opposite sign will come with respect to A plus B. That is, minus sign will come. We will use same trick for cos of A minus B. Just replace the sign, you will get formula. Now, I will tell you one trick to solve the numerical, which is shown on screen. By this trick, you will able to solve other numericals also. This numerical is compulsory asked in MST-CET. So, note it. We have to find the value of this expression. See, sum of this 10 and 80 is 90, and sum of this 20 and 70 is 90. So, we can write 10 as 90 minus 80 and 20 as 90 minus 70. So, simplify this expression, you will get answer. Now guys, last but not the least, you have to solve 90 questions in just 120 minutes. For questions related to trigonometric function, you should solve each question in maximum 90 seconds. If you are not able to solve, then skip it and move towards next question. Thank you so much and best of luck for your exam.
Hello guys, I am Arya Patil and today I am here with 3D geometry. We will be discussing topic planes. In MSCET, at least 3 to 4 questions are expected from planes. Planes is a very simple topic. You just need to remember few formulas, and by putting in formulas you can solve any question. And more likely, many questions are solved just by substituting the option in the given expression. Here we will see some formulas in planes. So here, if the plane lies in xy plane, then the equation of the plane will be z is equal to 0. Similarly, yz plane x is equal to 0 and xz plane y is equal to 0. The general form of plane is ax plus by plus cz plus d equals to 0. If the conditions are given as if a is equal to 0, then the plane is parallel to x-axis, b is equal to 0 parallel to y-axis, c equals to 0 parallel to z-axis, and if the constant d is 0, then the plane passes through the origin. The standard equation of the plane is given by n dot r equals to p. Here n is a normal vector and r is a variable vector, and p is nothing but the magnitude of the normal vector. Then the other general form of the plane is Lx plus My plus Nz equals to P, where L, M and are direction cosines. Now if the plane equation is given Ax plus By plus Cz plus D equals to 0, then its normal will be represented by Ai plus Bj plus Ck. Then we will see how to find a plane equation of the normal point form. If a point x1, y1, z1 is given in the plane, then the equation of the plane will be a into x minus x1 plus b into y minus y1 plus c into z minus z1. 3-point form. 3 points a, b, c are given in the plane and p is a variable point. Then the equation of plane will be the box product of ap bar, ab bar and ac bar, which will be equating to 0. Now if we want to find the angle between the two planes, that is theta, we will be using this formula. Cos theta equals to n1 bar dot n2 bar by n1 n2. Here n1 and n2 are the normals of two planes and magnitudes are taken in the denominator, and here dot product is formed in the numerator. Now if you want to check that the lines are coplanar or not, the condition will be x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, l1 m1 n1 and l2 m2 n2. We will be equating this to 0, where x1 y1 z1 and x2 y2 z2 are the points on the line. Now if the equation of plane is given, that plane divides the lines as given, then the dividing ratio is represented by this formula. Now if the line is given and that line lies in a plane with given equation, then the condition is ax1 plus by1 plus cz1 plus d equals to 0 and al plus bm plus cn equals to 0. Now if the two planes are perpendicular, their dot product of their normals will be always 0, or also we can write a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 equals to 0.
Good morning my friends. My name is Saket Ranade and today I am going to give you information about 3D lines. To understand the concept of 3D lines, you need to be well prepared with basic concepts of vectors, direction ratios and direction cosines. Basically, a line is defined by 2 points. Let us consider 2 points A, x1, y1, z1 and B, x2, y2, z2. Then we can define the line passing through these 2 points using vector equation or Cartesian equation. The Cartesian equation of this following line is given by x minus x1 upon x1 minus x2 is equal to y minus y1 upon y1 minus y2 is equal to z minus z1 upon z1 minus z2, where x1 minus x2, y1 minus y2 and z1 minus z2 are the direction ratios of the following line. We can also represent this line using vector equation. The vector equation of the following line is r bar is equal to a bar plus lambda b bar, where r bar is the position vector of any random point on the line and a bar is the position vector of a specific point on the line, and b bar is the vector parallel to the line. Lambda bar is any real number. So using these two equations, we can solve any problem related to line. So basically you need to remember these two equations very well, and most importantly you need to understand these two equations very well to solve problems regarding lines in the CET exam. I hope that my video will help you in preparing for your CET exam.
Hi, my name is Lakshmi Panch and I am going to discuss some tricks on permutation and combinations. So let's begin. The first trick is for distribution problem, where we have to distribute A things among B people, and if the things or objects are distinct, then the formula is B raised to A. This is the maximum number of way of distribution, and if we are given that the objects are identical, then the formula is A plus B minus 1 C B minus 1. if there is a specific condition that none of the boxes should be remain empty, then the formula modifies to a minus 1b, c b minus 1. The second trick is about knowing the number of matches played among the teams, where n is number of teams and m is number of times each team plays match with other. The formula for it is n into n minus 1 by 2. This same formula can be used to determine the number of handshakes done in a party. Trick number 3 is for knowing the rank of the word in dictionary. So let's begin. The first step is to number the alphabets in the alphabetical order. Here I took the word random and I numbered them in alphabetical order. The second step is from starting with R, and we look at the right and see how many such alphabets are there which appear before R in alphabetical order and write them out. So here for R there are 5, for A 0 and 2, D 0, O 1 and M 0. The third step is simply multiplying them with factorials. We will begin with 0 factorial for leftmost number and then multiply it till last, that is 5 factorial. And then the most important step is to add this one. Important because you forget it. So always remember, this will give us the exact rank. So after calculating it, we get the rank of the word. On internet we can find many tricks about it, but the problem is that we will come to a point where we have so many tricks and we come out to be remembering them. So don't need to remember, just run them out and practice them out, so it will be very easy for you. And always be very careful and accurate with your data, cause your values are important. In this chapter there is nothing but a small formulas and placement of the values. Thank you.
When starting with limits and continuity, we need to first start with limits. What is limits? In mathematics, a limit is a value that a function approaches as the input approaches some value. Limits are essential to calculus and are used to define continuity, derivatives, and integrals. The following chapters need to be covered in limits and continuities chapter. First is estimating the limits from graphs. Then estimating limits from graphs and tables. Then formal definitions of limits, epsilon delta. Properties of limits, limits by direct substitution, squeeze theorem or commonly referred as sandwich theorem, types of discontinuities, continuity at a point, continuity over an interval, removing discontinuities, infinite limits, limits at infinity, and intermediate value theorem. In this topic, first by going through all these topics, then going through the solved examples, and then practicing the problems. Through this procedure, you will be complete with this topic and you can score well. Limits and continuity topic weighs for 5 marks in the CET paper.
Now I'll explain you the basic formulas of limits which you will require in solving the sums. First, when we take limit x equal to 0, sin x is 0 where cos x is 1. When we take limit x equal to 0, sin x upon x, it gives us 1, and cos x upon x is not defined because cos of 0 is 1 whereas 1 upon 0 is not defined. Then tan x is nothing but sin x upon cos x, and this is a whole upon x which gives us 1. Then log of 1 plus x whole divided by x, where limit of x is 0 gives us 1. Then e to the power x is 1. This is because anything raised to 0 is nothing but 1. Then e to the power x minus 1 upon x also gives us 1. And a to the power x minus 1 upon x gives us log of base e, a. Now I will take a sum which is very simple but is repeatedly asked in the CET paper. In this sum, the limit is x tends to infinity. First we need to understand what is x tends to infinity. When any number is divided by 0, then it tends to infinity. Basically, this can also be written as anything divided by infinity, it is 0. So basically we will be following the same approach by dividing this equation by the maximum value of x, which in this case is x to the power 4. So basically when we divide this by x to the power 4, so this becomes 1 plus 1 upon x plus 1 upon x to the power 2 plus 2 by x to the power 4 upon 3 plus 1 upon x minus 3 upon x square minus 1 upon x to the power 4. In this case, any number divided by infinity gives us 0. So basically this tends to 0. And infinity square, what is infinity? Infinity is nothing but a very huge number, and its square will also be huge. So basically this will also be tending to infinity, and infinity to the power 4 will also be infinity. So basically this also becomes 1 upon infinity form, and this will lead to 0. Again this will also lead to 0, and similarly all these terms will be tending to 0. So basically we are only left with 1 upon 3, which is our final answer. So hello friends, in the topic of differentiation, we are going to see a simple example, but it is repeatedly asked in the CET paper. It is a very basic example which need to be solved systematically. In this example, y is equal to cos square of root x. We need to treat it layer by layer to solve and get the final derivative. So first we need to address the square function. Then we need to address the trigonometric function, and then at last we need to solve the root function. So how are we going to do this? We'll do derivative of y with respect to x. First we'll see the square function, that is 2 cos of root x, and then we go to the trigonometric function. What is the derivative of cos x? It's nothing but minus sine of root x. Then we go to the root function, which is nothing but its derivative is 1 upon 2 root x. So we are just following the simple chain rule and applying the basic formulas. So when we solve it further, what is 2 sin x cos x? It's nothing but sin 2x. We are going to apply it over here. Derivative of y with respect to x is nothing but 2 of sine root x cos root x, which is sine of 2 root x, but we'll preserve the minus sign and multiply it with 1 upon 2 root x. This is nothing but the final answer. So hello friends, in the topic of differentiation, we are going to see a simple example, but it is repeatedly asked in the CET paper. It is a very basic example which need to be solved systematically. In this example, y is equal to cos square of root x. We need to treat it layer by layer to solve and get the final derivative. So first we need to address the square function. Then we need to address the trigonometric function, and then at last we need to solve the root function. So how are we going to do this? We'll do derivative of y with respect to x. First we'll see the square function, that is 2 cos of root x, and then we go to the trigonometric function. What is the derivative of cos x? It's nothing but minus sine of root x. Then we go to the root function, which is nothing but its derivative is 1 upon 2 root x. So we are just following the simple chain rule and applying the basic formulas. So when we solve it further, what is 2 sin x cos x? It's nothing but sine 2x. We are going to apply it over here. Derivative of y with respect to x is nothing but 2 of sine root x cos root x, which is sine of 2 root x, but we'll preserve the minus sign and multiply it with 1 upon 2 root x. This is nothing but the final answer.
Hello, my name is Madhura. Let's talk a little bit about differential equation. We all know that differential equation means equation which contains derivative of function. In this chapter, the first point is order and degree. Order of differential equation is order of highest derivative appearing in that equation, and degree of differential equation is power of highest order derivative. For deciding degree of any differential equation, the equation must be in the polynomial form. If it is not, we can't find out its degree. We can form the differential equation by eliminating the arbitrary constants in the equation. Eliminating constants means by taking derivative of that equation. There are three types of differential equation. First one is variable separable, means you can completely separate the equation. For example, function of x with dx and function of y with dy. Second one is homogeneous. In this, each and every term in the equation has same degree. You can solve this equation by substituting y is equal to vx. Third one is linear differential equation. These are equations which are in the form of dy by dx plus py is equal to q. P and q are constants or functions of x. In this, the most important thing is do not forget to add constant c after integrating the differential equation. While solving, first check if it is homogeneous and then check for other forms. The last topic in this chapter is applications of differential equation. There are three applications. First one is population growth of bacteria, second one is Newton's law of cooling, and third is surface area. In this, questions contain condition. Thus, by putting these conditions in your equation, you will get your answer. Try to solve more and more problems. Here the chapter ends. All the best.